We're live here.
We're live here from the JTN Track and Turf Studios for this
Larry
week's
Gunselman Podcast Studio.
edition of
The
the
Plop
Fake
Squad
Racers
150.
Podcast. Hey guys, how you guys?
At some point, you just start sounding like a adult from Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Who are we going to name our podcast studio after? Because Oofsides, we have the Dieter Brock studio. What obscure NASCAR driver are we going to name this studio after?
I think we should name it after like Chris Wright, just because he's such a tragedy.
We could do,
But he's still
do Riley Herbst because we've built his career essentially. So
that is true, yeah.
we bullied him into being okay. He sucks again, but for a little bit there.
Yeah, we're starting over.
Who else?
Oh man, I'm gonna go on Racing Reference and just hit random until it's somebody that I recognize. Maybe that'll be who it is.
I'm gonna Racing Reference first. I probably won't.
The 2012 5 Hour Energy 200 Podcast Studio.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's the race that Ryan Truex was gonna win, and they got no. Although the third place finisher was Brian Scott, it could be the Brian Scott Podcast Studio. I think that'd be a good one.
The Jeff Green Podcast Studio.
Oh, it could be that. That is a good one. Jeff Green was in this race.
The Emerson Fittipaldi.
That's a good one.
The
Cecil Eunice Podcast Studio.
The Paul Wolf Podcast Studio.
Jeremy Bullens.
Hit random again.
Rip.
The DK Ulrich Podcast Studio.
Oh my God, guys! The Danny O'Quinn Podcast.
Okay.
Studio.
That might be it. Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah, it's gotta be.
I'm glad we took 2.5 minutes to decide that this week.
That's what people are listening to.
It's important.
It's true.
Now I can legally request him for money.
There you go.
That's true. He is unwittingly sponsoring this show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what? He's probably a real estate agent. He's making good money. Kyle Busch is selling his house. He's
Did
probably
you see
getting
that?
all that?
That was.
Yeah.
Did he post that to like all of his socials or just his Facebook?
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome, man.
I'm pretty sure.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
man.
I love that.
It also comes off the back of apparently Martin Truex Jr. is also selling his house. Is something I saw. Dude, everyone's just cleaning out.
Well, it's almost like the land is like real, and houses are really expensive in North Carolina or in that area or something because people want to live there. I don't know.
Maybe. I will say Martin Truex's house is up for sale for like $3 million more than Kyle Busch's house. So.
Well, isn't Martin Truex's like permanent residence, and Kyle Busch's is like a freaking second house. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he listed his last house on the waterfront in North Carolina 2 years ago. Almost exactly 2 years ago today.
Wow.
Wow.
Brexton's tearing up a lot of stuff, huh?
Just putting holes in the walls.
Must be. I was more talking about the equipment, but you know.
That too.
Well.
I guess.
House counts as equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, house equipment.
Yeah, house is equipment in like certain movies and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What, man?
Anyways, this is Fake Racers Podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Davey.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Davey.
I'm Joe, and we are back this week after NASCAR Nashville. IndyCar went to Detroit. Whoa. And,
Whoa.
yeah, let's just talk about it. Ryan Blaney. YRB dominates stage number 3.
Fast car.
Fast car, good strategy there in stage 1 to get some track position as well, with staying out long and then having a short stop.
It was good strategy. I guess it is good strategy because they know they had a car that was good enough. Yeah, it was good strategy, but they also absolutely had an unbelievable car.
Yes, yeah.
Because they took 2 tires on that stop to get that track position, and they were as fast as everybody else. Still.
Yep. Hey, he was like running down the leaders on older tires than everybody else, and I was like, ooh, that's gonna scare everybody else.
It's a tough night.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not long time coming, but this year they've had some notable missed opportunities, and it just did kind of feel like, eventually the dam's going to burst, and then you could see Blaney go on a heater here.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, relatively tame race. The start of the race was a little bit hectic, but that last stage, it was mostly clean green, and it let Ryan Blaney walk the dog, pulled away.
Oh yeah,
made it look easy.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar and Hamlin tried to make it interesting, which, again, that's just becoming a more frequent thing of Carson Hocevar being up in the battle for these wins now, which is getting kind of wild.
Yeah, that team found some.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, what was the problem Hamlin had? He had like some in-car electrical issue or something, so he didn't have like
he didn't have cooling.
His hose cooling off the helmet.
Okay, that's what happened.
I also, at one point, said he didn't have water, which I was like, what? So he must have one of those like drink hoses or something.
Yeah, it must have stopped working or didn't get suction. Or
something. Danny, don't be such a baby.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they had their baby, but
it couldn't have been that hot in that car. What, like 120 degrees?
Yeah. Get over yourself, man.
And then they were like saving fuel, and so he had to cut all of the extra fans off that he had in the car as well.
God.
Which was like, I was like, "Jeez, man, this guy's going through it, dude."
So I know it's a good shot for TV, but they gotta stop with the in-car view looking at Denny Hamlin, because his eyes freak me out when he's in the car. It makes me uncomfortable. That dude does not blink.
Yeah.
It scares me.
1,000-mile stare, Denny Hamlin.
A lot of drivers are like that. I have a screenshot somewhere of when they Fox had a similar camera, not quite like right direct on the driver, but like a similar camera in car pointing at the face of like Ross Chastain. And Ross Chastain looks miserable when he's driving. Like, he looks he doesn't look mad either. It's not like he's angry. It's not like he's like focused. He looks miserable. Like, he just looks so upset. It's very funny. I have to find that later.
Yeah. But yeah, Blaney just basically cruised at the end of this race, and like he started catching those lap cars, and Hocevar really started taking chunks out of his lead, and then Blaney was able to kind of settle in a pace behind, I think it was Van Gisbergen he caught up to, right? If I recall correctly. And then Hocevar wasn't able to make any more ground up from there. What do we think of the race? I thought it was decent.
That was a pretty good race.
It was a fine race that was carried by, for once, really great production and broadcasting. This is the kind of race that if it happened on Fox, we'd be having meltdowns about the car.
Yep.
And we're not this week, because while the race wasn't that exciting, it was
because we got to see the battle for 8th.
It was fine, and we got to see the battle for 8th, or
the battle for
whatever
14th,
position you want. Exactly.
Battle for the lucky dog.
They were showing that a lot, and I was like, I was amazed. I was like, I heard people like, showing the battle for 30th. Like, well, I mean, like, yeah,
something
that happens sometimes. Like, sometimes this happens.
It's a long race. There's 40-something cars. Let's show as many of them as we can.
I bet Joe, you're pretty happy about that.
What a novel idea. What a novel idea to show all the different cars, you know? What a novel idea.
No one's ever thought of it.
No one's ever thought of it. And you know what? They even showed the Rick Ware cars.
Wow. Really?
That's wild. Wild.
You mean they showed them and it wasn't like really zoomed out to where the car was like
you couldn't tell what the sponsor was? Or like zoomed in so you couldn't tell what the sponsor was?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's still one of my favorite things that's ever happened.
Like, who did they piss off?
I'm pretty sure it was Jacob Companies, the like sponsor they had, because it was only when that logo was on the hood of the car they would do that.
Why?
I don't. But yeah.
What like what is Jacob Companies? It's like aviation or something, right? Like.
I think it's a construction company, isn't it?
I don't know. All I know is that Tommy made a fake version of that company that is Davy Companies. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a construction or a contractor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Must have made someone at Fox mad. Hell.
Must have like ruined his house or something. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked last night a lot about how good the broadcast was, so we don't really need to go into crazy details about it. But I was glad I was glad that we had the NASCAR production and the Prime team on
NBC
Sunday's
production.
race. NBC production?
Yeah, NBC's doing production for the Prime races.
Okay.
And it's NASCAR.
I think that's there's
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, there's weird stuff now with the
I don't
production
know.
teams.
Yeah.
Fox is just completely different. That's all you need to know, and it shows.
Fox is completely different. Well, we have someone on the inside now who is saying that all of the Prime and all the TNT, for example, is going to be like produced in house by NASCAR.
Yeah, but they've like the people they bring in are NBC.
Okay, so they've like NASCAR themselves has basically hired NBC's production team to come work for them.
So.
Basically, is what you're saying. Okay.
So we're both.
They're like licensed to them. Yeah.
I don't know.
No one's right.
Who knows?
Well, it's good. That's all that matters.
It's good. It's crazy. If you would have told me last year I get more NBC races, I would have been happy, right? Like.
Yeah.
So.
Big fan.
Byron has a good night. Larson rallies to a top 10, but story of the night, Eric Jones top 5 speed all night long. They had to take some extra fuel on the last stop. I had to pit a little bit earlier.
Question. Ring, ring, ring. I have a question. Is Legacy back?
Almost. They've been good the last few weeks.
They're almost back. They're doing it. They're doing the damn thing. They're getting better.
They're getting better. John Hunter is back to be in the second car.
Well, yeah. He's had
a few weeks where
he just keeps wrecking again.
Yeah.
He was really fast this week, but and then he and Christopher Bell had a moment.
No, that was Eric Jones.
Which was
Eric Jones.
Oh, you're right. Actually, it was Jones.
It Christopher Bell, or they kept calling him John Hunter at the start.
Or was it? Nemechek had problems though, didn't he?
Yeah, he just he wasn't fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Jones had an awesome night. Like we already mentioned, Hocevar had a great night.
Bubba Wallace had a huge comeback.
I was going to mention the comeback drives by him, Larson, and Busch were ridiculous. All three of them had like disastrous starts to this race. Bubba had a speeding penalty under green flag stops. Still came back to finish P6.
Yep.
Kyle Busch's car was just like driving horribly. They had the hood up, like adjusting shock settings, and then he drove back up to 12th.
Super cool night.
Oh yeah, so you love to see it.
SVG was in the top 15 for a little bit.
He was.
Yeah,
he was. I tell you what, that 88 crew, they're not going to be competing for wins on an oval or anything anytime soon, but they are markedly
figuring it out.
Improving.
Yeah,
they're growing.
Trackhouse as a whole seems to be figuring it out.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Like Ross has.
Suarez had a better night. Yeah,
Ross has good speed on Saturday. For once.
Yep. they unloaded fast for once.
Yeah, they did. Because they really sucked at that this year.
Like 600 weekend was the first weekend they unloaded pretty quick, and Ross still started dead last because
he
wrecked it. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, I was gonna say before we move on to the next thing, there was also the Ricky Stenhouse Carson Hocevar thing. That was a bummer. Like we had just mentioned this the last couple weeks that like Stenhouse has been running so well, and then this basically, I won't say kills their playoff chances, but now he's in a hole, and being in their position where you have to be on the attack now rather than just being able to make your laps and run your races, it kind of changes the entire complexity of the season for them.
Yeah. Obviously, Ricky Stenhouse wasn't too happy with Carson Hocevar. I feel like that was maybe a Carson Hocevar classic, unfortunately.
Maybe.
Which you hate to see.
What do you mean, maybe?
Huh? I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I'm just not, My point is, I don't have a point. Sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
No, I mean in Letarte, it's not the first time he's done it on the broadcast where they held him very accountable, and it was like he does so many things right. This is the thing that he does wrong, and he needs to work on this because, like, Stenhouse is a guy driving for another small team that's in a similar position to them, and they're a smaller team that's punching way above their weight, kind of like Hocevar's been doing this year. And you you need to have a little more patience in that situation. So, yes, Joe?
Can we get rid of this narrative now after this weekend that Spire is this small little team that could? They're doing more with less than everybody is. They're going out and they're hiring rap guys away from other teams. Like,
that's true.
Small
They're
teams
fielding
don't do
7
that.
cars per week. So
small teams don't do that. Okay, small organizations with small bankrolls don't do that. You have the same backing that the Andretti teams do financially.
Yeah.
To an extent. You're not a
that's
small
fair,
team
yeah.
anymore.
I guess like upstart would be the proper term. Yeah.
Upstart, yeah, growing. And like overall, like the thing that the reason that people still see them as the small team is because they don't have the pedigree.
Well, it's not even that. They were seen as the team that's just here to take their check every week.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how many people at the start were like, oh, well, they're only here because, the charter means they make enough money. They bought the charter super cheap, so they're just making money. Mm-hmm. And now they're actually competing for wins and blah, blah, blah. You wonder, are they making money now or are they losing money? You would think that they're probably still making money. Probably not as much. Or at least the margin isn't as big, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. The charters are assets now, too, is the other thing to consider for these teams, and they'd have some kind of credit associated with them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just...
No, I mean, that's a fair point.
I'm getting to the point with this whole Spire is a small team, and it's not something that, like, you did or anyone here's doing, and that's, like, out of the ordinary.
Joe, I'm
just...
taking it very personally.
Good, you should. But, like, yes, it's awesome that they're winning. They got, like... Raja Karuth wins the truck race on Friday, right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Spoilers.
But they have a lot of funding and they have a lot of support and they have, like, it's not, again, it's not the same as Hayek or it's not the same as Rick Ware or, you know what I mean? It's not some of these one-car organizations. Wouldn't even put it on the same level as a colleague or a legacy, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, they have. I was gonna say, now that I think about it, they have really, not blown up is the right term, but like elevated very quickly over the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Especially,
they could be commended for that.
And your point rings even more true off the back of Carson Hocevar battling for wins 2 weeks in a row.
Michael McDowell has 2 poles this year, right? Or only 1?
Yeah, good point. He's fast every week. They've struggled with finishing races, but yeah, the 71's always up there mid-race. They have a 3rd car.
Justin Haley's there.
Yeah.
What a disappointment, dude.
Yeah.
I really was like, God, he kind of ran decent with Rick Ware, and he's going to go to Spire and it's going to click. And probably should have stayed at Rick Ware, you know what I mean?
Do you think Rick Hendrick's looking at the 3 Spire drivers and is like, shit, I signed the wrong one?
Yes. But I don't think Rick Hendrick would ever sign Carson Hocevar.
I mean, he signed Kyle Busch back in the day.
Kyle Busch didn't have as bad of a reputation as Carson Hocevar has right now.
When
Rick Hendrick signed him.
Oh, that's true. He developed one, but...
Okay, he signed Kyle Larson, who had a bad reputation off the track.
That's for a different reason.
Really different.
Yeah,
and don't forget, he's still funding that car completely out of his own pocket, or at least his businesses.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where I was like, if he could get his hands on Hocevar, he's gonna sign him in a heartbeat. Like, I know he's, they've got Raja in there in the same tent as well, but like, he's gotta be looking over there like, okay. I don't really want to have to deal with that guy for the next 10 years.
Gonna get signed by Gibbs or some other power team.
Yeah, and to be fair with the Kyle Busch point too, Rick Hendrick shipped Kyle Busch.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
it's a good point. And yeah.
I still love the anecdote of Junior talking about when he was getting signed there, and he was like, "You should fire Casey Mears." He's like, "You should absolutely keep Kyle Busch. Do not let that guy go."
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, though, I think that was the best thing, because I don't think Kyle would have ever become Kyle Busch if he was, driver number 4 on the totem pole for the rest of his career.
Yeah, neutered by Hendrick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle Busch became a superstar.
Yep.
You know. This has been a lovely accidental dive. I liked this. This is good.
Allgaier is the first driver to get 61 points in an Xfinity race.
Oh, is that race win both stages and fast lap?
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's actually a cool stat. Has anyone done that? Have people done that in Cup yet? Is he the first one to do that ever? It's not
I'm not sure.
Like sweep everything. That's kind of sick.
Did Larson do it at Kansas?
Well,
let me look.
Did Larson win Kansas? Yes.
Yeah, he won Kansas. Here, I'm gonna look this up right now.
God, now okay. Well, this is horrible. Anyway, that's a really cool stat.
Look up the races Kyle Larson has won this year.
Yeah. But as you said, Allgaier dominated that one.
Yeah.
Really not much to say about it.
Yeah, Larson did it at Kansas. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
So.
Gotcha. What? I don't even remember what happened in the Xfinity race, to be quite honest with you.
I didn't even watch it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying very close attention to it.
Alright, cool. Raja Caruth won the truck race. I also was not able to watch that one, so.
I wasn't able to watch that one at all.
I did get to see the finish. Yes. Great driving at the end by Raja to hold off Hyman Riggs at the end. Pit strategy got them out front. Obviously, he led a ton of laps still, but that was a collaborative team effort, which is what you need if you're going to be Corey Heim, it seems like, this year.
Yep.
Is Corey Heim good?
He might be kind of good. I keep an eye on that guy.
The thing about Corey Heim that sucks is he'll never be allowed in a JGR car. That's
their loss.
Well,
Williams
Sawalich won a pole this weekend, so
wow,
that's cool.
Here, wait, let's check in real quick. So the reason why is because he and Ty Gibbs don't get along, and Ty Gibbs finished 28th.
Where Corey Heim
and
finished.
Corey Heim, he did crash.
He was running better than Ty Gibbs.
He was still running better. Yeah. Wait, no, sorry. That was Kansas results. I was looking at that wrong. Ty Gibbs finished 31st. Sorry.
So he finished, 4 or 5 spots better than Corey Heim, who crashed?
Yeah, basically.
6 spots.
Right above Justin Haley. How about that?
Man.
Crazy how that works out.
Supposedly this silly season, there aren't going to be a lot of deck chairs shuffling, so we'll...
And because we kind of blew through all this... Ty Gibbs kind of sucks right now, right? What's going on?
This is the weird thing,
Ty
right?
Gibbs
because
is what people say Austin Cindric is.
Something's changed, right? Because he was okay. He was decent as a rookie. He almost made the playoffs. Last year he did make the playoffs and was really good throughout the summer and through the early season. And then something just happened at the end of last year, and he's just a complete non-factor now. And he has, these races where he'll run up front early. Like we saw that a few weeks ago. I think it was last week he ran well, and then they just finished 28th. I don't know if it's the teams blowing their strategy or if Ty's blowing it, but something's wrong. It's weird.
And so the weirdest part about it is it almost seemed like he was starting to figure it out too.
Doesn't he have a rookie crew chief this year?
He might.
I just explain why he's finishing so bad.
Because Chris Gale moved over to the 11 car.
Yeah, his crew chief this year is Tyler Allen, who I've never heard of.
Yeah, so I think he was the Xfinity All-Star car crew chief last year for Gibbs, I believe.
Let's see. He worked as Adam Stevens' right-hand man with Kyle Busch when they won their second title.
Yeah.
Then he was the lead race engineer for Adam Stevens and Christopher Bell from 2021 until the end of last year.
Oh.
So he's got pedigree, but yeah, obviously being a rookie crew chief is hard. He's never been a crew chief before, it seems
with a young driver.
Yeah.
That I don't think has ever really had equipment where he hasn't been up front, so it's probably hard for him to diagnose what he needs when he's not.
Yeah. You can get by on that like raw speed and like just hustling a car that is already probably going to be faster than most other cars on track just by the way it's built alone. You can get by with that for a while. But when it comes to, you know, not to be cliche about it, but when you get to the Cup Series, like you have to know what that, like, you have to know like what you need in the seat of your pants. Like you have to know what a good car actually feels like, and I'm sure he knows what a good car feels like, but he's never had to dial one in himself. And I that definitely causes some problems. I mean, it's no mistake. You made a great point there. Where like he probably does struggle with that. Rookie crew chief doesn't help. That's why he runs well and starts to run like crap. You know, like they somewhere along the way, like that's a mistake. That is not just like something that happens to him. That is a mistake that race team made. And yeah.
Is it too early for me to make a moto comparison real quick?
No, go
ahead. Run it.
So what it reminds me of is there's these guys like Michael Essie back in the day and Justin Cooper now who their whole life they've been great at starts. And so they can rip hole shots and get out of the gate and just fuck off from the rest of everybody else. But as soon as they move up to the top ranks where everybody's good at starts and all of a sudden they're stuck in the back of the pack, they don't know how to move through the field and how to battle and when something goes wrong and they're not at the front controlling the field, they can't move forward through it. And that's almost what it seems like with Ty Gibbs, where his entire career he's had equipment that, and I'm not saying Ty Gibbs isn't talented, he very clearly is, but he's always had the best stuff handed to him. Now he's racing where everybody has the best stuff. And when you get behind, can you overcome that? And that's what it seems like they're really struggling with.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And not to harp too much on Ty Gibbs, like, oh, Ty Gibbs is so spoiled, but like, he's also, there's now more than ever seems to be so many drivers in the Cup Series who have good rides, who didn't have good rides for a long time and are just inherently hungrier. Your Ross Chastains, you know,
Carson Hocevar.
like that.
I was going to say, look at the guy who finished second.
Gonna be my next one. And you don't like nothing prepares you for how to race against people like that. Like those people that like the top of the top. Like when you go to the big events, when you go to the big series, when you go to the big leagues, there's just another level. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he keeps like flirting in and out of that level so much. I don't know why it's so like flip floppy. But if he doesn't figure it out soon, it's gonna start looking really bad.
Yeah, and I don't know what Gibbs does if Ty can't win a race by the end of this year or even early next year. Like, you know, because you might find yourself in like an Austin Dillon situation where it's like, well, you can't cut the guy loose, but, you know.
At least Austin Dillon has won races.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a cutting one as well. That's a good one.
I mean, I don't remember how many years it took Austin to win his first race, but I'm pretty sure
it was 2016, wasn't it?
Was
no, 2017.
Yeah.
So that was year 4. So he's still got time. He's not in the Austin Dillon zone yet.
Hey, he's still got time to be as good as Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon is also in much worse equipment, so
that is also extremely true.
God, another quick tangent. Austin Dillon has the funniest list of race wins I've ever seen.
Yeah,
because it's all of the biggest races that they just sometimes stumble into, and they're like, "Oh, that's crazy. Don't mind if I do."
And then there's a Texas one, right? That teammate pushed, like, blocked for him.
Yeah.
And then of course Richmond last year.
Yeah. Wait, what happened at Richmond?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, all Austin Dillon is like a less flashy Jamie McMurray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Checks out.
And like you could argue Jamie McMurray could eventually, like, if he continues in the broadcaster field and continues to be good at it, could like be a Hall of Famer in the sport, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean he's
got the marquee wins and
won the big races.
Yeah.
Did TV. If he stayed at TV.
I mean, hell, Carl Edwards is in the Hall of Fame, so.
Yeah, what the hell did he do, dude?
I'm saying.
Oh, he did a backflip every once in a while. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Want to know what my favorite thing Carl Edwards did?
Can you do a backflip?
Not retire. Give my man's a 7 championship. Come on.
Well, you know, Daniel Hemrick can do a backflip.
That's true. He's done 2 of them.
He has done 2 of them.
He added another one this year.
He did. He might add another one this weekend.
I still cannot believe that happened this year.
Dude, both times I've been like, it's been so long since he's done one. Does he still remember? Is this dude gonna just dome himself on the ground?
He's gonna like fuck it up somehow, do a gainer. I didn't even know I could do that.
Something that I didn't know someone knew how to do this weekend. Alex Palou, I didn't realize he didn't know how to win a race. And by Alex Palou didn't know how to win a race, I mean whoever ran into the back of him. I forget who it was.
Oh gosh, I'm forgetting, but
it was one of the. Oh god, it was one of the kids. Fuck.
Was it Malukas?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Malukas ran into the back of Palou into turn 1 or 5. I forget which one.
So somewhere, one of numbers.
One of the 90-degree corners at Detroit.
Yeah, one of them.
Oh wait, they're all 90 degrees. We chose the worst area of the city to put the race because we had to do it around the Renaissance Center. That won't even be GM's headquarters in a year or 2.
Back to Belle Isle, baby. Woo.
Yep.
No, probably not.
Why?
State Conservatory.
I don't want rationality.
Domination.
I want to go back to fun things.
Hey, you talk to Life about the ecological impact of race cars on a state park, okay?
No, it's hybrids. They're fine. That means they're eco.
No, they're actually probably worse, especially for the roadway because they're heavier.
It's like, do you remember in 2008 when Chevy was like, "Hey, we made a hybrid version of the Suburban," and it was still like a 5-liter V8 that had a tiny little electric motor strapped to it. They're like, "Look, it's a hybrid. It's good. Gets good gas mileage."
It's literally just like a small belt that they wrapped around the engine and hybrid together.
Don't look at the financial statements, you guys. You just buy a hybrid. It's fine.
You guys are really tempting me right now to get into a diatribe about hybrids, but I won't.
I have one.
I won't. We won't.
If we, oh, I want to though. I kind of want to, Joe.
Not on this show.
Oh,
not on this show. But Alex Palou didn't win. Kyle Kirkwood won his second race of the year. But yeah, what a downer. Woo. That was the best Detroit GP on the streets. But just go back to Belle Isle, please. There's so much better on Belle Isle.
Literally the most iconic racing video of all time, in my opinion, is from Belle Isle.
Which one is that?
The Montoya pole lap. Where he's coming through that final sector, like those last 2 right-handers, and he's smacking the wall, and sparks are coming off the car. Whole time he's still ripping. Oh, dude. Stank every time.
The first one that came to mind was Saavedra giving somebody the double birds in 2013. That was the other one that...
What about the pace car crash? That's a good one.
The pace car, that was a good one. The track coming apart and wrecking Hinchcliffe in like 2011. That was a good one too.
Yeah, I had the image that's burned into my mind from that race is the IndyCar official like taking up one of the like long patches and just tossing it,
just peeling it up. Yeah,
that's not helping, dude.
You're making it worse.
Come on. And then my favorite memories with the new circuit are.
Louis Foster tried to kill Felix Rosenquist. That happened. That's something that happened.
I don't know if he was trying to kill him. I think his car was trying to kill him, but
yeah, dude, I was mentioning this in Steven Merzlak, friend of the show's server, about like when they went to the replay and you saw Rosenquist and Foster was nowhere near him. You're like, oh no, this is about to be bad.
Someone's car's about to be broken.
Have we heard anything about Rosenquist since then? Because he did have to get,
he was
stretchered off is a little strong, but he was complaining about his leg hurting.
All I heard was that he went to the care center. I didn't hear about him going to the hospital.
Oh yeah, it says he was released from the medical center and he was fine. Okay.
I was gonna say I had sources on the ground for the race, so.
You got ops.
I did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They didn't tell me that they took him to the hospital, but
yeah. since we're talking about this also, and we were praising the Prime broadcast, it's time to shit on Fox again because I have a couple complaints.
God. What was? Oh.
First off, with like 3 laps to go, Jacob Abel was running like 7th, and they were shouting him out like, "Oh, he's having a great race. He's been having a terrible season." And then he finished 18th, and they just never even acknowledged it. Oh. What happened?
I don't know.
You guys were talking about him, and then all of a sudden he disappeared, and then. But it's not like
Matt. We have to get to UFL football.
That is true. Yeah, the second most, actually probably the third most popular form of American football in the country.
But it's the only one on TV right now.
Honestly, probably 4th most popular form of America. High school football is probably more popular in a lot of places.
CFL might also be beating it. It's a 5th.
No, UFL is probably still beating the CFL.
It's not being sad. High school though.
Come on, Canada, step it up. My other gripe, actually, this is probably why they didn't notice it, was when they show the results graphics, they show like 1st through 10th for like 5 seconds. You can't even read all of them. Like, they're changing graphics before Buxton's even finished reading all of them. What are we doing here? This is basic shit.
Don't worry about it.
I figured this out for my stop motions in 2010. What are we doing here?
That's true.
If JTN can do it, you can too.
Yeah.
That's true. That's facts. Major facts.
The goddamn Makita Truck Series had better production value. Come on.
That's what's so disappointing, too, about Fox, right? Like, I felt like going into the season, they were taking this so seriously, and all the marketing was really good, and, like, even the first race was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just, Indy 500 happens, and you know what it is. It's like the big up executives dipped their grubby little hands into it. Told them how to do things. How can I Foxify this?
We need to make this better. We need Michael Strahan. Well, actually, no, not actually Michael Strahan, but
AI Michael Strahan, and then we need an AI version of our booth too at the end with Michael Strahan.
You guys like Tom Brady? No? Well, he's there anyway.
We're gonna shove him down your throat. Touchdown, Patriots.
God.
I mean, again, Fox only cares about football. It's obvious, right? Like,
yeah,
that's all I care about. So,
more closer we get to eliminating Fox from the broadcast lineup, happier I am.
Only Fox.
Downhill.
Only Fox would pay however many digits it is to get the IndyCar license to broadcast, and then be like, "Oh, fine," the entire time they do it.
Hey,
like my brother in Christ, you paid for it. You signed up to do this.
If it makes you feel any better, it took them, well, I don't know, like 5 or 6 races to do to IndyCar what they did to NASCAR over like 20 some odd years.
That's true. Yeah, they're they're more efficient now.
Wait a minute.
Speed ran it.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
IndyCar, every race has side-by-side commercials only during green flag.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Cool. I'm just saying. That's
good for them. Somehow they managed to have a way to have the race on at all times and still managed to miss half of the things. That's impressive.
I mean, true. I can't dispute that. I'm excited. The truck race is on Fox on Sunday. So, or on Saturday. Sorry. Yeah.
Are they actually going to send the crew there?
No. Are you kidding me? It costs money.
Michael Waltrip carries that damn broadcast.
Oh my god, right?
Phil Parsons is like, somehow I don't notice him. He's still there, right? It's Phil Parsons.
No. That's the thing, he's not always there. Sometimes it's a cup driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that for Nashville or not, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Cindric this week.
Yeah.
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 I didn't watch.
So it's not even Phil Parsons all the time. So yeah.
Well,
you don't notice him there because he's not always there.
It's
you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
IndyCars, baby.
Yeah. Well, we switch back to the truck series, and speaking of the truck series, as we go from the shop. Adam Stern reported that Cletus McFarland is eyed for the Ram Truck Series entry in 2026. Team, manufacturer, and everything else TBD. Matthew.
Who the fuck is Cletus McFarland, and how is he a real person?
YouTube guy.
Garrett Mitchell.
He's done some questionable things.
Yeah, so like I saw him making his ARCA debut, and I saw people were like, "Hey, it's cool that he's actually getting into racing, but like, can he stop doing this stupid fucking bit when he's being interviewed?" Um, and then I saw an article compare him to the Jake Paul of NASCAR, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna hate this guy. Okay.
So, I do want to say there is a disclaimer that I think is very important here. One, they're talking about it's part-time influencer, blah blah blah, right? Whatever. He's got his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They'll probably fund a bunch of videos and stuff for him to do, and all that. Okay. Dude is taking the racing thing pretty seriously, from everything that I've seen, read, heard. You're watching.
See, like that. I was gonna say that part I don't mind. Like, it seems like he is a genuine driver. It's just like, I hear like there's a similar character to this in Moto. It's a guy who goes by Ronnie Mack, and it's like Ronnie Mack doesn't actually enter any races though. So like that's what this would be like to me. It's I don't know. It's just weird that I was like, is this a real fucking person? I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he plays a character and he brings it out for like the interviews and stuff for exposure and whatnot. And you can be here nor there with that. I'm glad he's taking it seriously. It doesn't always feel like he is. As far as him leading the way for a Ram Truck Series program,
I don't think he's leading the way for that program. I think it's just he's going to be the way they sell pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Listen,
as long as there's someone else driving one with him.
Sure, there will be. Supposedly, it's going to be GMS, right? Isn't that was the other rumor?
Ooh, I don't know actually.
So
there is apparently some Red Bull rumors running around the paddock.
ooh.
Yeah, I don't know any specifics, but it's something to do with Red Bull.
Man, if only there was a cup team.
Getting more involved, apparently.
I wonder if there's a cup team with sponsorship from Red Bull that's also been a hot candidate to switch manufacturers. That would be crazy. I wonder who that could be.
Legacy?
Please. Don't
Legacy
make
probably
like
would
that.
though. Legacy probably would though.
Because
I don't think they're really like I know they're starting to run well now, but I don't think they're really in love with their Toyota deal because they're probably below GR and they don't want to be. And 2311 for that matter. And it would make Joe really happy. So that's another thing that they're probably considering. Is like Joe Zawanski would really like this. So.
I would love for the 43 to be a Mopar again, because that's what it should be.
Mopar or no car.
That's right. Xfinity Series will allow 40 entries for Mexico City. I saw a lot of people like hating this for some reason.
I don't hate. So
I know like the whole the two guys that get in won't get points, and there's like a bunch of gymnastics that they're doing. Like
it's literally just like classic NASCAR. Like, hey, there's an easy way to do this, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the complicated, dumb way so we have to legislate everything.
Well,
it's
sure.
It's just weird.
Here's the thing. Who cares? These teams in the Xfinity Series, they're not making any money from the race itself. It's all sponsorship. So what it is just so the teams don't drive all the way there, not make the race, and then lose the sponsorship money on top of it.
I was going to say, just give 39th and 40th ones point each. Like, that's all you got to do.
Well,
problem solved.
Yeah.
I get that, and I rock with it. I think that is a thing that only the fans are mad about, and the race teams don't really care about. End of the day. Personally.
Yeah, it's not like
41st
century in the 500.
And that's not to say that the fans are right or the race teams are right or one's wrong or one. That's not to say that. I just think that like
the fans are
wrong. Race fans, the race. I'm not saying that. I think the race fans are probably up in arms about it because it's kind of dumb from the outside, but from a business perspective, yeah, you don't want to go all the way to damn Mexico. All your crew guys have obtained travel visas or whatever, have their passports, and they all make this trip, and then they just got to go home.
Yep.
So I mean, I get it. End of the day.
Who's going to be the first team to have trouble going to Mexico?
Alpha Prime. Knowing Tommy Joe Martins, it's going to be Alpha Prime.
It's true. All their cars are going to get held.
God hates that man.
Yeah. Colleague Racing confirmed this week that AJ Allmendinger will be back in the Cup Series next year.
Good. He's running super well this year.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I think we're all there. And
he's like what, 40-something? He's in the statistical prime age of a Cup driver.
Yep, and he's good everywhere, right? Like this whole myth that he's this road course ace. Like, yes, he's really good at the road courses, but he can be a threat at some of the 1.5 miles and short tracks.
Holy shit! He's only 7 points below the cut line.
Yeah,
would have been higher if he didn't blow that engine.
And there's
they would be in.
There's 4 road course races before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Give me that. I know it's probably gonna come at the cost of a Bubba Wallace playoff berth, but God, I really want AJ in the playoffs, man. Oh, that'd be
pretty cool.
Again, we talked about it last week. AJ is one of those guys that always shows a lot of emotion when he wins, which I think we all love seeing. So it'd be cool. Yeah. And
I never hate seeing him win.
And a guy that said he didn't want to just putz around in the Truck Series this year in front of 12 people will be putzing around in the Truck Series for 12 people in 9 races, including the last 7. Corey LaJoie returns to Spire Motorsports starting this week at Michigan.
I am going to be devil's advocate, as I usually am. I'm not going to hold that over his head.
I'm not either.
He wants to go racing.
It's just funny.
He said that because he wanted a Cup ride, and he wanted to sound hungry, and he wanted to market himself, and that's what he had. That's what he felt like he had to do.
Yeah.
I don't think for a second he believed that, and if he did, I bet you he doesn't believe that now. I bet someone close to him, because he has a lot of
people
friends in high
NASCAR.
places isn't the right words, but he has a lot of friends. Shut up.
What?
He has a lot of friends who are pretty successful in the Cup Series, who probably put their arm around his shoulder and said, "Hey, don't be a dumbass and ruin something potentially good for yourself." Like, he very clearly still has a good relationship with the higher ups at Spire. He's not a horrible race car driver. I know he had his problems. I know he wrecks race cars sometimes. So does Carson Hocevar. I hope it goes well for him. I hope he performs well. I hope he shuts some people up. He's been amazing on TV.
Yes.
And as much as he's been the cup punching bag, and it looked real bad last season, it would be really, really cool to see him do well. Even if it doesn't lead to more rides in the future, even if it's almost like he's taking a Parker Clearman kind of route. Back to getting, I don't know. It'd be cool. I'm not gonna begrudge him for his dumb comments too much.
I will, though.
I mean, yeah.
I will.
Sorry, no.
But it's like what, and I mentioned this last year when what Denny Hamlin said after he got released from Spire, which is go win races. You know, like we all want to win at the Cup level, but it's like the guys he raced with coming up through the ranks were Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney, and he was beating all of them in worse equipment. Like, we know you have the talent, Corey. Exactly. This is your chance. Go do it. You know.
People forget that as well. People really, really, truly forget that era of his career where he was racing against the stars of the Cup Series right now. And
yeah, there was genuine hype around him when he was first coming up into the Xfinity Series.
Yeah.
So, hopefully.
It'd make a hell of a story if he did start running really well, too. So,
John Hunter, too.
Well, that was the other guy I was going to mention. That was the other guy I was going to mention, where, you know, he got to the top level in a midfield car, couldn't do anything with it, and, you know, bit the bullet and said, I'm going to go back down and start over again. And, you know, hitched his wagon to Toyota, and look where he is now. You know, Zane Smith had to do the same thing. And, or not Zane Smith. Oh my God, who am I thinking of? I don't know, whatever. There's somebody else, but I'm drawing a blank on who it was. But
Ross Chastain.
Yeah, kind of. So.
Yeah.
All right.
How about that?
Wow.
We're on to the
Corey LaJoie.
We're on to the part of the show that I love.
Do you have a Road to Pro moment this week?
Oh, mixing it up. Road to Pro moment this week.
Mixing it up. And then end on a bad note.
Jesus.
Oh god, what was my Road to Pro moment?
I don't even know if I have a Road to Pro moment this week.
Damn.
Yeah, no Road to Pro moment this week.
What?
Yeah.
None that you want to share?
No, just no Road to Pro moment. I'm trying to think of like one good thing that happened in the last week, and I'm drawing a blank.
It's Pride Month. We got that going.
Men's Health Month.
Joe's got his pride flag up.
One of the same. My dog is yelling.
Taking
It hasn't
to
been
the
a
bank.
big week.
Dude, you know what? That's my Road to Pro moment, is the return of the funky phrases on the race car merch. Taking it to the bank. That rules. That rules so hard. Love that. And Joe's petting it.
Good, Chris Buescher. Good, Chris Buescher. Win another race this
Matt,
weekend.
can we move on from Joe?
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just say it's Pride Month. That's my Road to Pro moment, I guess. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
My Road to Pro moment is last Friday. I went and watched my nieces do like a dance performance thing. I don't know shit about it. Don't know a single
Davey.
thing.
Dave's got the unk fit down though.
I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't whatever, right? But it was cool to watch. They had a great time and
they have fun.
Spent a lot of time doing it. Obviously they had fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had fun.
Good.
Is all I'm saying. Good stuff.
Echo Park.
I'll start
Speedway.
with.
That's
with
my
the bottom split moment.
Bottom split moment. Echo Park Speedway.
Is that really? You don't like it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one of these people that's like talking about it like it's the worst thing in the world and like how dare the Smiths take one of their businesses and name the speedway after like their business and use it for free advertising. How dare they do that? Like, shut up. One.
Yeah.
Two, haven't we had to like hear everyone bitch about how they bastardized Atlanta Motor Speedway? Like, shouldn't you be happy that it's not called Atlanta Motor Speedway? So that way,
it's just going to be called Atlanta again in 3 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
in my opinion, it's no different. Like if this happened 15 years ago, we would all be calling it Echo Park right now. It's no different than Auto Club.
Yeah, or who fucking what is Gateway called now? Worldwide Technologies. Yeah. Do you know how many people call it that? 0 people. It's Gateway. I know I just said it's Pride Month, but I'm dead naming your racetrack. Deal with it.
Well, no, it's St. Louis on all the marketing, though.
Oh, that's true.
Just like this will be Atlanta on all the marketing.
Yeah.
Be like that.
And then sometimes Michigan, it's funny because like the track's in Brooklyn, Michigan, so sometimes it says Brooklyn, and I'm like, nobody knows what that is.
Oh, a New York race.
Yeah, like, what are you trying to do?
I'm glad they finally got that off the ground.
I didn't know we could fit a racetrack there. It's not a lot of space.
Street race. Echo Park Speedway.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Echo Park Speedway. My Road to Pro moment. God, I had it and then I lost it while we were talking about Echo Park Speedway.
Oh, that was my bottom split moment.
Oh, your bottom split. That's right. I mixed it up and I forgot I mixed it up.
Yep. Bottom split moment, Davey.
That's right. Bottom split moment. I've been really busy lately. I hate being busy. I know that's been my bottom split moment a lot of times. I mean, I don't mind being busy. I like being busy. I like the money that I get from being busy. But
yeah,
man, I've been spoiled.
I
need to remind myself that I've been spoiled.
Yeah.
And it sucks. So right now is my bottom split moment. But next week when I look at my bank account, I'm gonna be like, oh, Road to Pro moment. I had money for like everything. I like could help and do things, and it's great. Right now though, tie.
Yeah.
Matt, what you got?
My bottom split moment. The entire going wasn't entirely a bottom split moment, but just kind of the way it worked out. It was 105 degrees at Hangtown on Saturday. We didn't even stay for the second moto. It was miserably hot. Like, I spent a lot of time the last like 3 summers outside all day at big like BMX races, and this was far and away the most miserably hot I've ever been in my life. Like, We left early. We were like, we're not staying. We even had the easy up. I had my big like Milwaukee job site fan going at full blast the whole time. Did not help at all. Um, and then on top of that, I also, for the second straight time, got to watch Aaron Plessinger absolutely dominate a moto and then lose it right at the end again. So pain. And trying to think, there's something else. Don't look on social media comments. Real dumb shit going on with moto people right now. So, remember there are. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I do kind of want to talk about this because I did mention Pride Month. Like, this is the result of a sport where it's composed entirely of high school dropouts. And that's not a joke because most dudes turn pro at like 16 and they drop out of high school. I will say, if you are disparaged from what you're seeing in Instagram comments, remember there are genuinely cool people out there like the Lawrence brothers or aforementioned Aaron Plessinger or Malcolm Stewart, who like maybe they have some kind of political beliefs, but they're not going to be public about it. They're not going to be disparaging people in public because they know they have fan bases, or in the case of Malcolm Stewart, who is a minority himself and knows what it feels like to be prejudiced against. So there are cool people. And like some people that are supportive that you probably wouldn't guess, like Eli Tomac, who doesn't say a goddamn thing on social media, but his brother's queer and he's very supportive of him, just not publicly, because he's not public with anything. It's extremely disappointing to see, especially when it's some people that you like, but remember there's good people too. They just might not be as vocal. So
yeah, I was gonna say, you get me close to caring about it, and then like slowly it'll start creeping into my feed, and then I see social media comments on any platform for what it's worth, and I'm just like, oh,
yeah, and it's like social media comments on stuff like that are going to be bad on anything, but there is a level to it in like, and this is not even necessarily just motocross, it's just like dirt bike culture as a whole, which is a very macho, edgy thing still, where they're going to wholeheartedly embrace that. And in the case of, I don't know, the current reigning Supercross champion who's going to embrace that. It's very disappointing.
I saw a lot of like pros in there, people whose names I recognize, commenting hateful shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm good, man. Like it's hard to continue to want to care.
Yeah, and like that's why I mentioned like Aaron Plessinger, he's a cowboy from Ohio. He's probably pretty right wing, but Aaron Plessinger is also one of the nicest people you'll meet, and he always takes time to say hi to every single fan and sign everything he can. He's not going to be out there spreading hateful shit because that's not who he is. If he has some kind of belief like that, he's going to keep it to himself because in the end it doesn't matter, right? He's such a positive person that I'm like, yeah, I can get behind somebody like that, So yeah, it's just frustrating, and that's one of the things you kind of have to deal with the sport, where it's like if you're like me and you're a lefty, you listen to Steve Mathis's show, and then you don't really interact with it online at all in any other way. So, so it's frustrating, but and it's disappointing to see like former champions saying shit like that. So, yeah. But what are you gonna do?
Thanks for making us end on a downer, Davey.
What do you want?
Anyways, folks, that's Fake Racers Podcast this week. If you were as equally depressed after this one as I am, make sure you tune in next week when we can talk about lost puppies.
It's all my fault.
It is. You're right. Remember that. Keep that energy.
Be gay, do crime. Fake Racers Podcast.
Hell yeah.
We out. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Christ.